morning, students. I am Dr. Vincent, Assistant Professor, MCA Department, Vishweshwar College, Trichy. So, in this PowerPoint presentation, I am going to present IoT design methodology. The introduction part. IoT system designing is a complex and challenging task because it involves various components interactions, and there are variety of choices are available for each component. IoT designers have to design the system keeping specific products in mind. IoT systems designed with this methodology will have reduced design system, testing time, maintenance time, complexity, and better interoperability. So let's discuss all the 10 steps in the IoT design methodology with the help of the home automation system case study. And these are the steps in implementing the design methodology in IoT. Step 1, purpose and requirements. Second step, process model specification. Thirdly, domain model specification. Fourth, information model. Fifth, service specification. Sixth, IoT level specification. Seventh one, functional view. Eighth, operational view. Ninth one, device and component integration. Finally, application development. In the first step, purpose and requirement specifications. You have to define the purpose and requirements of the system. In this step, the system purpose, behavior, requirements are captured. The requirements could be on the data collection and data analysis and system management, and on the security, and finally user interface. So these are the various requirements. So our home automation system, the behavior of the home automation is, it supports two modes, auto and manual. In the auto mode, system measures the light levels in the room and switches on the light when it is dark. The manual behavior allows remotely switching lights on and off. The system management, so we have to provide remote monitoring and control functions. The data analysis system should perform local analysis of the data. The application deployment, where the applications are deployed locally and it can be accessible remotely. The security should provide basic security like user authentication. The second step is a process specification. In this step, the use cases of the IoT system are formally described based on derived from the purpose and requirement specification. That is the previous step. The process diagram, so the circle denotes the beginning of the process. The decision box depicts the diamond symbol, and the state or attribute boxes are in rectangle. And this is the process specification for home automation system diagram. And the third step, domain model specification. In the third step, you have to define the domain model, describes the concepts, entities and objects in the domain of IoT system. The domain model defines the attributes of the objects and the relationship between objects. It provides an abstract representation of the concepts, objects and entities in the IoT domain, independent of any specific technology or platform. Using domain model, system designers can get an understanding of the IoT domain for which the system is to be designed. And these are the various entities, objects and concepts are in the home automation system. As the physical entity, the physically identifiable objects in the environment. And in the virtual entity, virtual representation of the physical entity in the digital world. For every physical entity there is a virtual entity, and as a device, so devices provide a medium for interaction between physical and virtual entities. And the resources are software components which can be either on device or network resources. And the services provide an interface for interacting with the physical entity. Step 4, information model specification defines the structure of all the information in the IoT system. Attributes of virtual entities, relations. So it does not describe the specifies of how the information is presented or stored. To define the information model, list the virtual entities and more details like attributes and relationships are added later. Information model adds more detail to the virtual entities by defining their attribute relations. So this is the home automation specification for information model diagram. So the virtual entity is a room, and entity type is a room, and ID is a room 1, and attributes are light level 1, and another attribute is state, and there is a relationship between the information model specification in light level and the state level. Fifth step is service specification. Here the service oriented approaches are defined. So it can be either change the state or attribute values or retrieve the current values, and these are the various types of services defined in the home automation system. And this is the diagram that defines the service. So current mode, auto or manual. So as output there is a service called name mode, and type is a REST, and there is a input service, and there is a service endpoint /home/mode, and the protocol used is HTTP. The sixth step in IoT design methodology is IoT level specification. Here a single device that performs sensing and actuation, stores analysis, and hosts the application. And there are various levels in the IoT system. The IoT level 1 is the best example for modeling low complexity and low cost solution. So IoT device that monitors the lights in a house. The lights are controlled through switches. The database has maintained the status of each light, and also a REST services deployed locally allow retrieving and updating the state of each light and trigger the switches accordingly. And this is the home automation system deployment level, and local service, where the controller service interact with resource and then it interact with the device. Functional view specification, 7th point. The functional view defines the functions of the IoT system grouped into various functional groups. So functional group either provides functionalities for interacting with instances of concepts defined in the domain model, or provides information related to these concepts. And this the mapping between the IoT level and functional groups is shown in the diagram. Operational view specification. In this step, various options pertaining to the IoT system deployment and operations are defined. Various options related to IoT system deployment operations such as service hosting, storage options, device options, application, and this is the diagram for home automation system case study. So 9th one, device and component interaction. Here the integration of devices and components like sensors, computing devices, and other components are integrated together. The interconnection of different components in our home automation systems are shown in the diagram. And final last step is application development, and this is the step where your application is developed for the IoT system. The application interface for home automation. There is a auto that controls the light appliance automatically based on the lighting conditions, and there is a light. When auto mode is off, it is used for manually controlling the light. When auto mode is on, it reflects the current state of the light appliance. Thank you.